Well, yeah. I mean, just kind of to back up just a little bit here. I enjoyed getting to dig into your story before we got to talk here today, Chuck. One of the things I thought was really interesting was before you went into wrestling, you served in the Navy for a while. Is that correct?
I did. I did 4 years in the Navy.
Man, that's quite a chunk of time to be spending enlisted there. What was it like for you in the to be in the Navy, and like did that help you prepare at all for what was to come when you would become a professional wrestler?
Absolutely. Well, adversity, right?
Yeah.
So, making that transition from I'd say a citizen or a civilian to an enlisted military person, it's a big transition. Obviously, you go through boot camp, but then you go out and you do your job. But yeah, 91, I enlisted late 91. At the time, still living in Rhode Island. I wanted to go out to California.
Okay.
And that was my ticket out to California. Joined the Navy, sent me to San Diego for boot camp. After boot camp in San Diego, they sent me up to Central California, the San Joaquin Valley area, base called Lemoore. I ended up, to back it up a bit, they sent me to school first. I was a aviation mechanic.
Oh, okay.
And having the mechanical background, it worked. So I became an aviation mechanic. They sent me to my first squadron. I started working on the FA-18.
Oh.
At the time, it was the C and D models. That squadron decommissioned. Then I went down to San Diego, and then the Top Gun show, that movie Top Gun.
I'm familiar with
it. Okay, so that base, I was stationed at that base in Miramar, and what I would do was 6 months a year, my squadron would be stationed there, and then the other 6 months, my squadron would fly out, and we would stay on the USS Carl Vinson, which is an nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, and I would go out to the Gulf. I'd go out to the Gulf for 6 months, work on that. I worked on the flight deck as a plane captain, and then we'd come back at the end of that 6 month deal, be home for 6 months, and then go back out.
That sounds really hard, Chuck. Spend that much time on a boat away from everybody? That seems like mentally taxing.
That was probably the biggest struggle for me, I think, was probably being out at sea for that long.
Yeah.
You go into ports here and there, but you'll be out at sea for 6, 7, 8 weeks at a time. And that can get tough, but great life experience. Obviously working hard. There's never a day off unless you're in port. So you do 12-hour shifts. Obviously you're working on the flight deck, a very high risk job, but it's one of those life builders, right? And I don't want to sound like a recruiting commercial, but at the same time, it kind of prepares you for what's next in life. It's a good stepping stone.
Do they play that song in the Navy every day on the boat, or no?
Can you imagine? No, please no.
Okay, never mind.
Please no.
So,
you have guys jumping off the deck.
Sorry. So anyway,
okay.
so you pivot out of the Navy into pro wrestling, and like the way that I saw it was like you find this listing or whatever for the power plant. Like, were you always wanting to be a pro wrestler, or was like this more of a spur of the moment decision? Like, what led to this pivot here?
So I tend to do everything backwards in life. I don't know. I just kind of follow my gut, right? So just to rewind a little bit, high school, I was a basketball player in high school.
Right.
I was I was an all-state player. I was getting offers to play at colleges, but at the time I did not want to go to school, nor, just to put it plainly, did I have the grades. I did the bare minimum to get by in school and high school. So that wasn't going to happen. At the time, home life wasn't great, and really I needed a place to live, to tell you the truth. So me and my brother. So that's where the Navy came into play.
Okay.
I was already working in an auto body. I was an auto body painter. I had learned, like I said, I've known the trade since I was a young kid, since my early teens, but I needed a place, a roof over my head, and a steady job with benefits. And that's why I joined the Navy. Plus, I wanted to get out of Rhode Island. Not a lot of opportunity. Beautiful place, but not a lot of opportunity. Wanted to come out to California. So that's why I joined the Navy. While I'm in the Navy, I start playing basketball again on the base team and in local club leagues. And I ended up recruit somehow. I don't know how it happened. I think I went to a tournament in Vegas. It was the Reebok Pump tournament, I believe. It's a recruiting tournament where a lot of players getting ready to go to college will go for some exposure. Ended up being seen by some different recruiters, and now I'm getting recruited out of the Navy to play basketball in college. So 4 years of the Navy goes by. I'm honorably discharged, ready to go to school. Going back to my grades, like I had told you, I just did the bare minimum to get by. So I went back to Rhode Island, went to a junior college for a year, got my grades up. I made All-American in junior college.
Cool.
I ended up getting a full scholarship my freshman year in junior college to Central Missouri State University. It's a Division II NCAA school. That was it. While I'm in college in Missouri playing basketball, I see the ad on TV for the WCW Power Plant. At that point, I'd never watched wrestling.
What?
I mean, and I tell people all the time, I said, I knew who Hulk Hogan was. He was a household name, right?
Sure.
I might have known who the Macho Man was, the Slim Jim commercials, right? But I didn't know anything about the business. I didn't know how much was, work, how much was legit. But when I watched, when I was flipping through the channels and I saw the show, what caught my eye was the athleticism. I saw these guys working in the ring. And I'm like, wow, these guys are athletic. And then that ad comes up on TV. And I tell guys, said, want to be a wrestler? With a question mark above. And then it said, join the WCW Power Plant where the big boys train. And it had a phone number. It was Atlanta, Georgia. And basically I called the phone number. And I remember, I think it was Jody. Now going back, it was, I think, Jody Hamilton, the guy who ran it, the original assassin, Nick Patrick's dad,
Yeah.
the referee.
Yeah.
He said, so you an athlete, kid? I said, well, yeah. I said, I'm playing basketball in college right now. He goes, oh, you want to be a wrestler? And I said, well, yeah.
Sure. Why not? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he says, well, get $300 and come down here and we'll put you through a tryout. Just get yourself a physical first and sign the waiver. We'll send you the information. So at that time, there's no email or anything like that, right? So I get my forms, my waiver, my forms in the mail. I get the tryout dates. I choose one, and I go down.
Yeah.